Um, yes, LLM, LLM, or any other really program is definitely challenging to choose from a lot of different options. However, the best LLM, if I want to say it in short, the best LLM program for you is what fits you and your needs the best. Um, I always encourage my students to, or the prospect students, to kind of look at it as a reverse approach and see and kind of gauge what your end game for completing an LLM program is. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to take a bar exam and becoming a practicing attorney in the United States? In that case, you want to choose a program or a school that offers courses that will set you up or prepare you for taking a bar exam, right? Um, are you already practicing in international law or in a relevant area abroad, and you want to add a LLM from the United States to help you advance your career for promotions or whatnot? Because we all know it's a valuable, definitely degree to add to your resume. If that is your end goal, to either go back to your country or work at an international company, or use this degree to advance your career, then maybe a program that would offer a pathway for that would fit you best, and not necessarily taking the heavier courses for the bar exam, right? Um, or are you looking to actually becoming a practicing attorney where you can sit for any bar in the United States? In that sense, there are LLMs that pave the pathway from an LLM to a JD program. And that would enable you to have a JD degree and sit for any bar and be just like any other student who takes a JD program. In that sense, a program that would facilitate that pathway may be the best fit for you. At Stetson, we do offer all three pathways. We do have, much like INSA was speaking about their programs, a program that would prepare you to sit for the New York bar. We have a public and private international law track, which would enable you to advance your career with an LLM. We also have an LLM to accelerated JD program that would potentially waive the LSAT, which is a huge, huge hurdle for a lot of, especially international students, to pass. So, really thinking about, okay, what do I want to do with this degree would be a good way to narrow down the program that could fit your needs best. Another point or variable to consider is the campus. Um, would it be the campus environment, the campus culture? First of all, and I always say this to my international students, because especially those who haven't visited the States before or whatnot, you want to narrow down what state you actually want to live in, depending on if you have family there, if you have support system there, if there's a particular weather you would like to live in. Would it be north, south, east, west, proximity to other cities, whatever it may be? Kind of, you can narrow down, okay, this state and this state and this state are the states that I would like to be in, because that really determines, your practice of law as well, eventually. So narrow down the states that kind of interests you, as well as campus life, campus culture. What type of campus do you like better? Do you like big campuses that have, over 30,000 students, that would not be only a law school, let me say that. So law schools that are housed in a bigger campus, or no, do you prefer a smaller, more intimate campus that it would be a lot easier to kind of find resources around, make friends, probably, whatnot. Um, how much do you feel like you already belong to the community? And the admission process and kind of interacting with your admission representatives kind of are a good indicator of that if you're not able to physically visit the campuses before. If you are in the States, or if you are in the area, schools have open houses. They host open houses. I strongly, strongly encourage you to attend an open house for the school that you're thinking about. They're a really good indicator of what the culture would look like. You get to interact with alumni, current students, faculty, all that. Um, Housing needs are also a big deciding factor for a lot of students, especially those that are international. Does the school have the resources to provide housing either on campus or through connections that they have? So that's important. And pre-arrival and post-arrival services, would it be from, or getting your visa and your immigration documentation to you in a timely manner once you get here, or the pre-orientation, giving you information you need for relocating if that's what you're doing, also, as well as post-arrival services. If you do have a temporary immigration status like a F1 visa, a student visa, there is a lot that goes into maintaining that, and there's a lot that you would need support with. So you want to kind of consider and get a feel of what those pre and post arrival services are. Um, Other opportunities such as clinics, externships, how strong the network of alumni are, how much are they willing to assist you, what kind of events does the law school host to kind of help you in those networkings, and essentially, in one word, how well supported you feel, or they're able to provide those. With everything that I am mentioning, Stetson Law is able to provide support for all of that, from the housing to the externships, clinics, to pre-post arrival services, to a really strong alumni network. But these are just things that you should consider regardless of what program or what school you are thinking about, or your top two or top three is. Of course, scholarships are a big, 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 big consideration, financial considerations for a lot of the students. And in in thinking about scholarships, I did want to mention something that you may not think about, um, that you should consider cost of living in that particular state, city, whatever it is, your rent, your anything, cost of living, just in general, in your considerations for scholarships. So it might seem like a bigger scholarship from school A, but the rent might be 3 times than school B that was giving you a lesser scholarship, right? So just look at that financial as a holistic approach, and not just the number of the scholarship, as well as other considerations like, do you have family in so and so city that you can stay with that would eliminate that cost, or um, any other kind of support, and also how long the program is. The scholarship might be bigger, but if the program is longer, eventually that will be a more expensive program. Or if they are, more, I don't know, more expensive per credit, and that's how they calculate their tuition. So look at that scholarship and that financial as a whole picture, than just the number that you are offered, I want to say. All in all, I think, just seeing what school or what program is going to help you get to your end goal would be the right program for you.
Well, let's get some other insights on this as well. Insa, what can you add to that?
Yeah, thank you. This was very exhaustive. Thank you very much, Masa. Yes, you hit all the points. Geographic difference is important. The United States is so diverse in that regard. So that's something you can focus on, just as well as big city versus small city. They're the notorious 5-6 big cities, or the well-known 5-6 cities, but there are many others as well. So do take a look at that. What I wanted also to point out is ranking difference. As you know, everybody knows that there is a ranking system for all the law schools based on various factors. And recently there has been a bit of an upset because the number one is not the number one anymore. So these rankings, is important to know, are of the JD programs. So there are different factors that play a role, like bar exam passage rate and employability, et cetera, that do not directly relate to the LLM students. That means when I go recruiting, many students just want to go to New York, and it's a fantastic city, and to the top schools there. That means there are thousands more applicants, right? So it's more competitive. Do not rule out the smaller schools that are not ranked top 10, 20. There are many benefits to many schools. If you don't need global recognition in your degree, then and if you want to have more attention, for example, because the program is smaller, as we pointed out already, ask for the academic support that the school provides to LLM students, because there is a strong urgency to focus on the JD students to keep the ranking up. So what does the school offer? So we have at Loyola an academic support office, and I'm very graciously, I love them because they work with the LLM students as well. And since we don't have many students, the professors approach me and say, well, listen, that student has an issue with this and this academic concept, so can you do something? And we do. So we make sure that LLM students succeed. And then the specialization options, if you know what you want to focus on, great. Look just for those LLM programs and you will find them, and then you coordinate what you want to achieve. Most students don't quite know exactly what they want, or they realize later, once they see all the course catalogs and the course offerings, that they may want to try something new. And that leads to the question, what courses can an LLM student enroll in? If you have a very specialized LLM, your choices are probably focused on that field. If you have a general option or a flexible enrollment program, then you have all the courses available to you that the school offers.
All right, wonderful. Felicia?
Yeah, I want to reiterate a couple of things that Masa pointed out, which was location and your end goal. Thinking about like where you want to practice law. If that's in a specific state in the U.S., you want to be looking at what the bar eligibility, the admission, what is required to be admitted to the bar in that state, and whether an LLM degree will get you that and it will qualify you for that admission, or whether you will need to move on to a JD degree to meet that eligibility. So that's definitely, location is something to think. And also in terms of location is thinking about, if you have an idea of the field you want to be specializing in or focus on, are there faculty who are experts in that and have experience in that field? Or is there a network of alumni who you can connect to in that field, where you can start to build connections and maybe gain some experience while you're studying, and also career paths after studying. So those are things to think about. And on the financial front, you want to be thinking about building a comprehensive financial plan. Scholarships are one component of the financial plan. So be looking at outside scholarships that you can apply for that aren't offered from the school. You want to be looking at loans, and if you're eligible for federal financial aid, you want to be looking at what your financial resources are. If you have family support, what resources they can help you with. So yeah, you want to have a holistic view of how you're going to finance both your studies and your living expenses while you're studying. That's very important to be part of your whole plan. The other thing I will say about specializations, yes, if you have an idea of like this very specifically focus of what you want to study, that's great, but a specialization is not absolutely required. You can always choose courses in that specialization that you want and just do well in them, and not do a full degree or certificate in that area. So yeah, and just those are things to keep, I think, that are really important to keep in mind. Just to think about the end goal, or not the end goal, but what's your 5-year plan, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.